Hi, my name is Dan Ko, and I did this podcast on the producer DJ Bassnectar. He's been a very creative and innovative influence over the evolution of electronic music and dubstep and house within the recent years. He's been releasing and creating music since the mid-90s. He started in underground music and production, the scene in California, which eventually would raise to become much bigger like it is today. And I feel that Bassnectar really had a deep root in that growth of the music and its genre and the popularity, especially within the recent years. And Bassnectar has really expounded more on the live shows and the implementation of different features such as lighting or videos, and really incorporating it with the music and with the vibe of the audience. And he uses what he calls omni-tempo maximalism, which means that he manipulates the tempo in real time to with not just the overall tempo, but with just certain grooves within each instrument to get an overall feel and an overall emotion that he's trying to evoke out of his members. One of Bassnectar's key elements that he uses, and I feel influenced many artists, is the idea of having a drop. Which he creates, this sort of home base for you, and you kind of sit in it, and then he causes this tension or this, just anticipation build, and it just builds you up, and finally it just leaves you hanging by a thread, and then it chops it and just drops you down, and that's just when the audience really feels that deep emotion, and everything just goes crazy, and it's almost like organized chaos. His music can be very ambient at times. It can be very hectic and crazy, or it can be very soft and emotional. It's very morphing, and he calls it amorphous music. It's just kind of out there, you can't really put a finger on what it is exactly. And I feel that, any gates or, fences that he puts around his music is definitely broken down, and he just does what he's going for. And that's what I really like about Bassnectar, is his creativity. And I feel that the creativity and the innovation that he uses also influenced many other artists and people to come. And he's been around for years now, and you can tell his music when he first started, it's much different than it is today, but each song is still very different. But I feel that's what really keeps him going and keeps other people into him and inspired off of him, is his constant changing and evolving with the times, and to really get the fans in there. He first started out sort of bubbly and sort of out there, and now his music is just off the wall. It gets crazier and crazier, but at the same time it's still very varied. I'm actually a very big fan of Bassnectar. He's one of my favorite, if not my favorite, artist, and I feel this is because he's so influential and creative, not just to me but to others. And he's definitely changed my outlook on music and the way that it should be created and the way that it should be listened to. And he sort of taught me to take my attention away from the lyrics and more into the actual emotion of the sounds, and how it can be vastly interpreted very differently between each individual. And that's what I love about it most, is it really is, it's all from his brain, but it's still all up to you through how you perceive the music. And like I said, it's all from his brain. He does everything from the sound design, creation, the implementation, the mixing, the mastering. All of it is him. He's a one-man show, and that's what really keeps that solidarity of what he's shooting at.